Welcome to one of the 2020 basketball officiating rule interpretation meetings. I am Tim Gebhardt, rules interpreter for the Lake Erie Basketball Officials Association. The subject of this presentation is block charge, one of the National Federation 2020 points of emphasis. I want to thank Denny Morris for asking me to prepare this presentation. I also want to thank Kyle Brown for assisting with the technology used in the presentation. The presentation consists of three parts. Part 1, rules and mechanics that give us the guidelines to rule on block charge situations. Part 2, my opinions on keys to getting the call right. These are my opinions and they are offered to make you think. You can agree or disagree on all or some or none of my opinions. Part 3, 19 plays to demonstrate points taken in parts 1 and 2. All plays are from the northeast part of the country, so no need for officials to question the identity of the officials involved. Part 1, you need to review the definition of blocking and charging. Review the basics that are on page 70 and 71 of this year's rule book and were discussed during the state rules meeting. You must know the concept of legal guarding position and the defense's right to maintain legal guarding position. You must understand the right of verticality and the difference between the legality of guarding a player with the ball as opposed to a player without the ball. Please reference the officiating manual, page 75, for the mechanics to officiate a drive to the basket. When a player with the ball starts a drive to the basket from an official's primary area, that official has primary coverage of the player and the ball all the way to the basket, even if the ball comes into another official's primary area. And the second part of that is drives to the basket. When the ball handler passes the ball to a teammate, then crashes into a defender below the free throw lane line are known as pass and crash situations. If the ball handler makes a pass to the strong side, trail takes the pass and lead takes the crash. If the ball handler makes a pass to the weak side, center takes the pass and lead takes the crash. To simplify that, the lead will take the crash situation in any pass and crash situations inside the lane area. This is good in theory, but let's look at reality. When a drive initiates from trail or center's primary area and the block charge occurs closer to the lead official, the lead is likely to have a whistle and a call. Let's review the proper thought process. On a drive from center's primary, center has ball all the way to the basket. His focus should be on the primary defender, but he should have the awareness of possible secondary defenders. Center should have first opportunity at the call. Lead should focus on secondary defenders and have a delayed whistle if a call has to be made and center does not blow a whistle. Trail is ready to make a crew saving call if there is a train wreck and neither partner has a whistle. Same principles are to be followed on a drive from trail's primary. Proper procedure when a block charge occurs. Calling official or officials sound whistle and get fist up to stop clock. Delays to make sure partners have not had a second whistle. After determining that only one whistle is blown, or if multiple whistles occurred, which official is taking the call, that official gives preliminary signal for either blocking or charging. In Ohio, it is okay to give both the punch and the hand behind the head or just the hand behind the head. The hand behind the head signal must be used on all team control fouls, indicating no free throws will be attempted. It is natural for officials to get an adrenaline rush when making a block charge call. Important to remember to slow down so that we do not have a blarge. one official calling a charge, one official calling a block. Do not be in a hurry to leave the spot, as often there are opposing players on the floor and we need to continue to officiate this dead ball period. Make sure we know the numbers of the players involved and notify our partners before going to the table to report. Part 2, statements regarding block charge. If there is a significant contact and the offensive player goes through the defensive player and we have a body or bodies on the floor, a call should be made. The statement: to officiate a block charge play, an official must referee the defense. I maintain that to call a block charge effectively, an official must referee both the defense and the offense. Did the offense leave the floor, and where was the defender when he or she left the floor? Did the offense go through the defender? We call too many charges by rules blocks. We need to reward the defense for making a good play. We should not call a foul on a defensive player that does nothing wrong. Don't reward an offensive player that drives to the basket out of control and creates contact. If the contact is on the torso of the defender and the offensive player has the ball, it must be a charge unless, number one, the defender got to the spot after the offense left the floor, or number two, the defender is moving towards the offensive player. If the contact is on the torso of the defender, the position of the feet or arms have no bearing. It is the responsibility of the crew to have a whistle on every obvious block charge play. If play is outside your primary, use the 3B approach. Be late, be right, be needed. Do not go in the locker room and tell your partner he or she needed a whistle on a play. If you are that certain, you should have blown the whistle. The third part of this presentation will be the video plays. The plays are shown several times. What we'll do is take a look at them once or twice. We'll stop the action. I will go over the teaching points of each particular play, and then we will look at the plays again so you can agree or disagree with my assessment. Great position and hustle by the lead and center. Center took control of his primary coverage area and made the call. Lead stayed off play that was coming out of his primary. Contact outside torso on the extended leg. Excellent call on a play that needed a whistle. The extended leg had no bearing if the contact would have been on his torso, but since the contact was initially on his extended leg, the blocking call was the correct call. First, let's notice the position of the officials. Trail is in a pretty good position as the play initiates. Center is too high. He should be down at free throw line extended. No lead in the picture. The lead should probably be at free throw lane line extended, closed down since the ball was in the middle of the floor. The play initiated in Trail's primary. Trail has primary defender lead available to offer help with secondary defender if needed. Good blocking call on primary defender. Appears official called it a common foul. Poor communication with his partners. Remember, continual motion is stressed in Ohio, and this should have been a shooting foul. This is a classic pass crash play. Leeds takes the crash, Trail takes the pass. Position of lead is probably too deep on baseline. Recommended is 3 feet off the baseline, not 3 yards as he is. The Ohio signal would have the calling official have his hand behind the head. Since play is on table side, after reporting, the calling official will switch with old center and go opposite the table and become the new center. Ball is in Trail's primary area. Center should be looking off the ball. Ball enters the transition area between Trail and center. This ball should still be Trail's primary responsibility. Did this play meet the 3 Bs? I question whether this call was necessary. I would classify it as a game interrupter. Okay, on the beginning of this play, I'd like everyone to notice the positioning of the officials. No trail is in the picture. Center is in trail position. And then we'll look at the play. Good call by the lead. Needs to hold stop clock signal longer in case there's a double whistle. He leaves the players on the floor unsupervised, heads to the table, then looks back to get numbers, giving impression of confusion. Center is slow getting to his home position. He is still walking down the floor as the drive crosses his face. This play is the center's play all the way to the basket. Play needed whistle. Lead needed to be patient on preliminary to make sure center did not have blocking foul on primary defender. Very important to get your fist up and delay as the lead when the play is outside your primary. Drive from center. Center's primary coverage area all the way to the basket. It's an easy call for center to make. Lead needs to be more patient before making the necessary call. Center needs to take more control of his primary area, and lead needs to be a little more patient making the secondary call. What do you think? Defensive foul or no call? Principle or verticality? What did the defense do wrong? Does the fact that we have a player on the floor make a foul call necessary? Bad call. Game interrupter. Similar to previous play, only this time, good no call. 33 got the legal guarding position. Offensive player created contact. Good no call. Good charge call. Is it a coincidence that Green 24 has been involved in the last 3 plays? Each one has him driving to the basket and creating contact. Crew should have antennas up to be aware of similar plays. Since play is opposite the table side, in Ohio, the calling officials would return to end line to administer the throw-in after reporting. Note that the trail is straight line and blocked from seeing any extension of the dribbler's off arm. Do you think this play meets the requirements for center to go out of his primary to get this call? Remember, be late, be right, be needed. Example why we need to use good mechanics on block charge calls. Center had the best look. Fortunate both officials had a charge. Which official had the best look at this play? Lead makes the call. He does not communicate, does not continue to officiate the players on the floor, does not get numbers of players involved before going to table. Partners are tested. Trail has conversation with coach to diffuse a possible volatile situation. The center cannot let facial expression or body language give the impression it was a bad call. Crew needs to get over this rough spot, get the ball back in play, and do better the next time. Need a whistle. The contact on the ball handler early in the drive that was ruled incidental should have no effect on the elephant in the room, which is the runover. Crew needed a whistle on this play from any of the three positions. Definitely satisfied the prerequisites for calling out of primary. Again, we have contact between dribbler and defender that is ruled incidental, which leads to a blatant run over with no call. Play needs a whistle from any crew member. Remember, be late, be right, be needed. In slow motion, there is a travel, but the call that needed to be made on that play is the run over, and a charge needed to be called. All officials will occasionally get beat. Get to an angle that gives you best look at the play. Good charge call. Needed to continue to end line to officiate players on the floor until his partner arrived to give him help. Defender gets to the spot after offense leaves floor. Good blocking call. Lead needs to slow down if center also had a whistle. Center probably should have kept his fist up and not dropped when the lead took control of the call. If you stay strong and stay with your stop clock signal, it gives more authority to the call. Good call by the lead. Need to stop clock to make sure center does not have a double whistle, and you have the same call if that is the case. Center should have had first shot at call. Lead should have secondary whistle. Neither official stops clock with raised fist, which is asking for trouble. Fortunately, they both had a charge. Remember, drives coming from C side, C has primary responsibility and initial shot to make the call. My goal by this presentation was to have you put your thinking caps on and look through these different plays, and hopefully it'll help you have a successful year. My goal is for every official in Ohio to have a great year, stay healthy, and actually get to work as we hopefully will have a season. Again, thank you for your attention and good luck to everyone.